Welcome back to the Fantasy Take TV podcast. We're here for the round 4 review and a look ahead to round 5. Bit to talk about this week, as there always is, really. A couple of more dodgy trades from yours truly, looking at both of us. So we'll talk about last week. We're actually going to talk about last week's trading because there was a lot of options last week, and we're going to follow up on them. See, there's obviously one that stands out as maybe one people should still be getting. And then the others that, we'll give our thoughts on where we think they sit, who we can piss off. That's going to be a big topic this week.
I'm banned from talking about who to trade out.
Kind of looks like the last week, maybe before you can, you can piss someone off. You just don't want to look in your side anymore before it really gets to upgrade season. You got a new segment. We're gonna talk about packs of the week. We got to make George smile. I watched his video last night and I just didn't see one smile. So we're going to lighten up his day a bit, maybe laugh at himself, which, we're going to be doing that a bit. And then look at some DPP. So DPP in after next round. And there's a couple of players that might be relevant for that. And we'll talk about that. So you want to talk about how you went, George, or keep it short and sharp? I mean, you went better than me, mate. So stop complaining.
Oh, yeah. I threw the C on Sheasel because I thought he was a tag threat. I don't care at this point. See how we go.
It worked.
Brother, what are we doing?
Yeah. Go on. What did you do? How'd you go?
All right. So I think this week it was nearly impossible to stuff up trade-ins this week because there was Humphrey, Moraes, Bice, and
Marriage and Baz if you didn't have him.
All were going to piss in. They just had to walk on the park and they were going to make 50K. So brought in Baz and Bice. Happy with that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we got rid of the wrong Port midfielder. Got rid of Horn Francis. Got rid of, I don't remember who I got rid of actually.
Was it Never? Or did you keep him? No, you kept
Campo.
And
I kept all the I kept Never.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a dead pick. SDK. Got rid of SDK, Campo, and Horn Francis. How good was he? Yeah. So actually, they took Drew out of CBAs as well, and obviously, you look at Saints midfield, on paper, they got McRae and a bunch of kids. So it's an easy kill for Port in the midfield, but they did lose. But yeah, scored. I think it was 1965 into just inside the 4K range. It's just like you want to get rid of the players you don't want, bring in players you want. And I got in the players I want. It's just I got rid of the wrong player. So, I don't know, Rosie, did he get tagged in the first half?
Early, yeah. And then I'm not too sure. I didn't catch the second half. I started to cook dinner and didn't see it. But
anyway,
I don't know.
Rosie's just, I have to hold. I can't trade another. He's premium, but he's not top of the line premium. So look, MVP of the week, got to give it to probably Harry Sheasel, pulling 144 out his ass. I think a lot of his touches were in the back half as well, which I think it was might have been Kane Corns. Just wasn't happy with that. But yeah, I think the stat was 73% of his touches in the back half. Probably wanted more in the front half, but fantasy, I mean, we're happy. And fault of the week. It's got to go to, I'm going to give it to Connorstone, 29 off in the back line. Surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
Bad rook.
Something.
Bad rook. At least you've got Max Hall. That's really annoying for me, having someone like Connor Stone sitting there, and could have been Max Hall who's going to make, at least 100K. Stone's barely going to make 50. So, or he's probably just barely made that. So he's annoying.
Yeah. How'd you go?
Mate, didn't even crack 1900. 1897. Just when you got Max Holmes getting tagged, I've traded in Callahan for Will Ashcroft. It's just been next level disaster. It was bad trade. I think I said it on the podcast. This is silly, especially a boost. But, wanted to back in the boy from my high school, back him in. He was in red hot form. and he just flipped on a coin. He hasn't really looked that urgent. I mean, last week obviously got tagged, but this week it's West Coast, man, and he was just maybe there's a chance to forward run and get an inside 50 kick, and that's when he'd break into a sprint. Other than that, he just wasn't urgent to get the pill, and then when he did, he didn't use it too well. So ultra disaster just because Will Ashcroft's out, 130 back to back. It's just that's what does it. Yeah.
That pissed me off. Like Horn Francis, I can cop it, but Will, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd get Finn again. The mistake was getting rid of Will and not Shorty. It would have made a different structure for me, but I think during best 18, that wouldn't have mattered. And now that the defender rooks are cooking, I'll probably, definitely wouldn't have mattered. So that's the poor decision there. Was trading out Will and not Shorty, especially with Will. Like Will's fixture was good. Like he was gonna get a good score very soon. He wasn't injured. He was still playing a decent amount of mid time. Togg's a bit low still, but he's so good it doesn't matter. Like anyway, I don't want to talk about that. It's round 4 now. That was 2 weeks ago. So I went from 3K to 6K, and I did Flynn, Finn O'Sullivan, and Nevitt. I did trade Nevitt in the end because it made these trades work just, and it was to Baz, Marriage, and Moraes by like 15K. So once Nevitt was out, I was like, yep, I'll do that now. I'll get those 3 in. Could have got Bice over Moraes or even Bice over Baz or any of them, really. It's just the fact that I picked the 3, didn't pick all those 4 I loved as trade-ins. It was just who wasn't going to be in this week. And in hindsight, you probably go both the rooks and then pick one of Baz and Marriage and then get the other guy for, I probably could have left Marriage and I still actually believe in him enough. We'll talk about it in a bit to trade him in this week. So that was the mistake there because Bice, I definitely did like it. Just with my team and having Cost, Trainer, Pryor, Reed, and then 4 defenders, it was just like, there's no excuse. I could have got him into the flex or put a defender in the flex for this week and then pissed off Shorty this week. But yeah, that was annoying. Happily, I didn't watch that game really. I watched like the first quarter and didn't see the rest, which was good because that would have been even worse. But I heard he played unreal, like best on ground basically. So we'll talk about him in a bit. MVP, I think I have to give it to. Oh, it's not many choices. Like She's for you as a captain's nice. No one really went massive for me. That was a surprise. I guess Cost. Yeah, it got to be Cost. I guess 100. That's unbelievable. As a starting pick, didn't even have to trade him in. So again, was part of my reasoning not to get Bice. So maybe it's backfired a little bit, but still really good. And I think he's favourite for the Rising Star now. And then God. Couple picks for the fault, but I'll probably go with Finn because he didn't get tagged like Marriage like Holmesy did. So him or Rosie, Finn or Rosie, whatever, take your pick. Not good enough. And they can, one of them will be going this week. I'll talk about that at the end. All right, enough about that, George. We'll get into some topics. Quick update on the news. What have you got? There's actually a bit out today. We're doing this on Mondays, but there's a bit of news come out today.
Yeah. So Nathan O'Driscoll, there's nothing confirmed or anything. A couple of Freo supporters, old Mini Mock and Pav, said he's rolled his ankle. That was the issue. So
I did see it in the game. So I think he came back on initially after doing it, and then 3/4 time hit, and he just didn't come on in the 4th. So I doubt he plays against Richmond, and then hopefully it's maybe just 1 week. We'll see. See tomorrow.
Yeah. So Xavier Lindsay sounds like he's a test for this week. Apparently trained well on the weekend. Houston's suspended for 2 weeks. Lever's out for 8. I don't think that really matters for SuperCoach, but just thinking I think Lindsay went back due to injuries. I know it's not like for like, but I wonder if they can squeeze him in the back line. I don't know. Because he was back, but I think Windsor was out or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. Nas copped a fine. I think it was a jumper punch, and he hit someone in the jaw.
There's a few biffs in the first quarter, yeah. So probably in that. I don't know.
He's got a fine, so no stress there. Scully's out for 1, so maybe Ned Long comes in, but just doesn't have the job security. And Henry's out for 3 to 4 for Geelong, which means as if Connor O'Sullivan's job security wasn't already good, but now it's perfect.
Could be slightly worse for him. Like, I don't think he was getting dropped anyway, and now he
Yeah.
might have to play a bit taller. So
That's true.
against the Crom, that might not be good.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about holding SDK, this is probably worse for him now because he already played back this week, and we thought like it's just Stanley like a 1 week thing, but now all of a sudden, probably got to move him on if you haven't. Playing key back 380k, whatever he is. So he scored like 90 or something. Like could have just
he kicked a goal when he was in the ruck in
Yeah.
his little bit of ruck time. It was funny, but
it 2 hit outs. So
yeah, get him gone. If you held on to him for a week, that was nice to get a decent score and not drop too. Did he drop? He probably missed his break even, did he? But not by much. So anyway, I would still be trading him.
Yeah, so we'll get injury lists out tomorrow. We'll speak about that in like Discord and whatnot. But yeah, I think the main one just hopefully Nod's okay. And if it's ankle roll, I don't think you can even if it's 1 week off. I don't think you're trading him.
No, if it's 3+, then I'd probably do it, or at least like
because I was playing around with trades and I'm like, well, if I get like, why would I get rid of Nod when like he's averaging more than Short? You know what I mean? It's like which one's the mid price?
No. If it's 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 is the question. If it's 3, there's just so many other dead ones. So it's like far out. How many can we carry?
I think 3 you can because you can force an upgrade that way because a lot of money on his head.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But 1 to 2, you'd hold is my early thoughts.
Yeah,
without knowing what the timeline is. But yeah, any news like that. I mean, George, I don't even check Twitter or I still check Twitter, but in the Discord, the news channel, someone's going to post that any bit of news as soon as it's up. Yeah. So if you want to get news or just even if you just read it once a day and catch up, that's where I would do it. Cool. So yeah, as I said, we're going to talk about those last week's targets. I don't think we need to spend a lot on Bice. I don't want to personally because it hurts, but 203k now, George. Basically a negative 100 break even. You've got to get him in, don't you? If you don't have him.
Yeah, I think this podcast turned into a morning / therapy session. I mean, you got to get him.
Yeah.
I thought I was watching Jack Sinclair play. Like he was kicking darts from the back half, then he was setting him up from pushing up really high up the ground, and I think they probably gave him too much space as well. At the moment, you give him a spare second, he's just going to hit a target.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you say? You just get him in if you don't. You just pay.
You still make, 150 quite easily from here, maybe another 200. So, yeah, definitely got to get him in. How you do it's the other question. I know a lot of people have, all our other defender rookies aren't really tradable. So it's, do you get him into your flex? It's just do something. I know a lot of people probably have a Power Pepper. I know he's just scored 70. I mean, if that's your only way, I would still do it. Just do it.
I probably would hold Power Pepper though.
No, I get that, but if they have no other cash in the bank, you don't want to do 2 trades just to get Bice in.
That's right. Yeah.
Say you're only doing 1 this week, you have no other problems. You're probably going pretty bloody well, but yeah, I'll just find a way. Marias, now,
I couldn't.
Bit disappointing. You didn't. Yeah, true. You turned it off, didn't you? Because of Juan Francis. I watched
the last
bit
5 minutes. McRae cooked.
Yeah. I didn't watch the last most of the second half, pretty much. But first half, he was kind of getting cooked by Darcy Wilson a bit, and even Travalia. He was on for a bit. He just, I don't know. They were both kind of trying to be offensive on each other, and it mostly backfired for Marias instead of Travalia. And maybe that's because Port were just not Saints were more on top. So it turned out bad for him. But a couple of bad, he's running behind 5 meters behind of someone who's kicking inside 50, to a forward or kicking a goal. And it was a little bit hard watching. So for job security reasons, that has me slightly worried, but I'm not really concerned about his scoring too much. Not the greatest game against a decent matchup. But would I jump on him now? I think I probably still would, to be honest. This week's matchup's not great. So, against Hawthorn, who do possess the ball quite a bit, it's not great. So it could stunt him a bit. But, yeah, mate, it's not like we'll talk about rookies later. I don't think the other ones are kind of screaming out to me, though. So if you had absolutely nothing to do and you had a Stone, Joe Berry, any dead rook like that. Say Henderson gets dropped, I think I might still make that trade because I think you can still make a decent amount of cash from here, but it might be with these couple of tough matchups, it might be a bit further down the line, but
Yeah.
I get you can definitely avoid him too. They have North in a few weeks at the Adelaide Oval, and they got a few Adelaide Oval games coming up. So we know it's Port. They're flat track bullies. They'll win a couple games eventually at home. And anyway, that's probably enough about Moraes. I don't think, definitely not like Bice. Like, don't have to absolutely get him in if you don't have him. But obviously a bit disappointing first up with a 43. These other ones, I think people want to hear our opinions on, George. So Marriage, we both got in. How do you think you went? I mean, tough game. Most of the inside 50 balls or kicks inside 50 were, either over his head for a goal or straight on Jesse Hogan's head for a mark. So he did, still have, I think it was 8 kick-ins to, there's only 12 total or something like that. So majority, but just not a lot of ball actually to chip mark around, was there?
Yeah. So I watched this game closely. I don't think I've watched much West Coast at all last few years, but tell you what, their best defender is quite comfortably Ruben Jinby. Just not fancy relevant or anything like that, but he's a gun. He's the main difference between, I guess, Kimby and Marriage is Kimby was like defending really well, whereas watching Marriage, he wasn't really strong in the air. He was kind of just give me the kick or hit a target.
Yeah, so he was on like a Toby Green or Jake Stringer most of the time.
Yeah, like defending was
playing tall. I was tough. They got to pick another key defender, don't they? Don't they have to bring Edwards back in or something?
Probably
until Gubb's back. Like
he was good when the ball hit the deck and good option, but like I thought, I don't know, as a defender, you want to be a bit stronger in the air. I thought. Would I bring him in? Was it like 320? Yeah.
Yep.
If you want, like, I'd let it go. He's not a keeper. I don't think he'll be a keeper anyway. I would probably let it go unless it really works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got another 100K in him. So if you think that's worth it, then it's okay. And it does help that, you can field him comfortably because he's going to take kick-ins. Probably slightly overscored, I thought. Yeah, it's okay. Like, I wouldn't stress. Like, I wouldn't burn 2 trades to get him in now. It's gone up 50K. 123 is going to go out of his system. Yeah, it's
when you say overscored, like, I get it because, like, the game he played, you would say, oh, he didn't do that much, didn't do shit, and he scored an 88. But that's the game. Like, that's just how the game works and the system works. You get 8 kick-ins, you kick them all along down the line. There's 50 points. Like, might be quite not 50, but it's like a good fucking chunk of half of his score. It's going to happen most weeks. Like, he doesn't have to play particularly. I think I still would. I might be on the minority there, but I do regret obviously not getting Bice, but then I would probably still would say I got Bice from a short or something. I'd still just use, if I had 150K in the bank, just use that to get a dead rookie up to Marriage and let him sit at F6 for a while. I don't see him as a season keeper, maybe with the DPPs and whatnot. But if he keeps a role all year, he could just be someone, even just sit in your team as a flex, as a cover player, whatever, or eventually sideways into whatever forward premium you don't have that's dropped, like a track or whatever happens.
Juan Francis
down the line. He'll drop a bit at some point. Yeah, I might be on the minority in that, but it's just gonna be points for it. Like, look at that team, bro. Look down the line. Like, who's scoring points there? And I know they won't most weeks, but he'll probably be up near the top most of it. So that's how the game works. I know he doesn't have like a great massive influence on the outcome, but he showed he scored 120 2 weeks ago. Like, it was only, not that long ago. So it can definitely happen again. And Giants are a tough matchup.
Yeah, that's true.
Humphrey, his last one we'll talk about. A lot got him too. I mean, I think he was the most outside of the rookies traded in, right? So third most behind the 2 rooks. So
yeah,
got his score up to somewhat respectable in the end. Probably wouldn't have counted for most people in the best 18 week, but obviously at least didn't completely tank and has a couple of good matchups coming. It was weird, George. Obviously, you were watching the Crom. They cut to Humphrey like 3 times in the first half on the bench, just absolutely blowing a gale like he was cooked. I know it's a hot day game up in the Gold Coast, but that's obviously the worry with him. It's going to take a little bit to build his tank. It hasn't been his strong suit, and he's had a few pre-seasons now, but there were a couple pre-seasons, but I guess that's really his biggest weakness because outside everything, like he's going to be a gun, but that hurts him, doesn't it? And the stacked midfield at the Suns is just going to be hard to get some time in there.
Yeah, especially when Flanders starts to get going. No, you don't touch him now. If you have him, you just hold for this North Richmond matchup and then see what the break even is and then decide whether you want to get rid of him or not. So it's a bit of a short-term play.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. Like obviously you wanted more, like 270k for a 60 is not great, but it'll make you a quick 100k maybe over the next 2 weeks. So wouldn't stress.
Cool. Is this the last chance to get rid of all our duds, George? Or are you too scared to do that now?
I have no issue trading short. No issue at all.
Because even if he scores well, he's going to be bad again anyway at some point.
Rosie was my captain. I can't trade someone I captained 2 weeks ago. It's ridiculous. And the CBAs are pretty good for him as well. Back half of last year, they dropped off. They're actually up on the back end of last year. Look, he's infuriating to own at times.
Yeah.
Like he didn't cash it. Like he had bad ratios in the early rounds. I got to back him in. Finn, what do you think of Finn? You getting rid of him?
Yeah, it sucks.
Here we go again. What's he scoring this week? Who's he got?
Saints probably gets a tag. Norwood as well. So we all talk about Norwood is the smallest ground in the country, which it is. That's not great for Finn, I don't think. So, yeah.
If the play's not,
his break even's 140, George. Like just like that. Like
yeah,
I can't hold it. He's 440k. He'll be under that if he doesn't turn it around soon. So, yeah, take my chance to turn him and short into a primo and Bice. That's really it.
I feel like you're going backwards with that trade, though.
I am.
You got to do it.
And two more wasted trades, but
who are you getting in?
Nah, it's a midfielder. Sarong, Handy,
Yeah,
Dawson, whatever. Someone. But it doesn't, as you said, doesn't advance my team. I'll be down to 30 trades.
Yeah.
30 trades. Still 3 boosts, which I think is all right. Wish it was 4 and still had Will Ashcroft, but yeah. Any Finn owners, I don't know how you hold him again. Like I'd even hold short one more over him again.
Yeah. Sure, like hold price at least.
You know what Ross Lyon is like. He is petty. There's no way he's letting Finn.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you'll have to.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have to because
yeah.
But he might, and yeah.
Oh, he'll tag him.
I can't sit through that again. Just another 60, 70 from him. I can't. And as I said, he's 440k, George, with a bloody 140 break even already. I think, yeah, terrible trade. If you started, it's not that bad. It's still pretty bad. You don't even get none of us got the 140 in round 0. So, yeah, terrible. Last time I backed someone in from my school. It's not the greatest pedigree. We got like Dylan Shield.
Shieldy's all right.
A couple of my mates that never made it long in their careers. Hopefully they're not watching. And like, we got Miles Bergman. He's not a bad player.
He's doing well this year.
He's good. But yeah, Finn was meant to be the one. He's going to be the next. I mean, he still will be. He's only 21. It's a bit harsh on the kid, but hasn't been a good 2 weeks. Anyone else you think that isn't in our teams that other people might have that you would be turfing? SDK, we said before, you would do it this week if you hadn't already. Anyone else?
Roberts. Just see how he goes the next few weeks with Bice. He went 115 with Bice last week, I think. So I don't know. I think he'll be fine.
I saw your fantasy video. I was watching it before. for about the first 5-10 minutes. And Roberts is averaging, as you said, Short's averaging more fantasy than Roberts.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Short's got his kick-ins back too. It's weird. Do you put the money on Short's head, or do you just leave him there and get a rookie off and get an upgrade somewhere?
I think you can
probably
leave him
another
there.
week for an upgrade though.
If you want to leave him there, I think it's fine. He's not going to like tank, and there will be one game. I don't know when it will be. Could be April, could be May, could be fucking I don't know July, but he'll go large. But it's just like
You reckon? Okay.
There
His
will
fixture's
be.
not bad coming up.
There will be. Yeah, I'm still probably turfing him just to get Finn up and deal with it. But yeah, I think like I would get rid of Finn ahead of him. I would get rid of SDK. I would get rid of. I guess Rosie's the tough one. You probably back Rosie in still ahead of Short, but
I can't trade Rosie. I just can't do it. I know he'll burn me, but yeah, this is Rosie.
Yeah. All right, George's new segment. I might have to explain it a bit. It's a bit of fun. I get a smile, hopefully, on our face and everyone else's. Because when we're doing terribly, we can laugh at ourselves, but we also got to take a slight second to laugh at everyone else because and I'll be laughing at George and he'll be laughing at me, by the way. So it's just a bit of fun, but it's a bit of thing going on the Discord this year called smoking the packs, you know?
Yes.
It's probably overused, that word. But
yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, when someone goes poorly at something, you smoke the pack.
Yeah.
Did I explain that well? Probably not.
Yeah, not the greatest, but
so what packs are we smoking today? You know,
well, we're smoking each other's first. So I'm smoking your pack for trading Horn Francis. So
that's a good pack. That's a bad one.
With how many was it? 17,000 other coaches. It's always the way though, isn't it? Like it's just hilarious. Like what was it? 100 at halftime. He hadn't scored 100 all year in a full game. Like it's just that's how just this stupid shit works.
The funny thing is, it's like when I trade a player, like you get punished and it's fine, but you get like punished to the absolute max to the moon, mate. Like Bailey Smith, you don't start him round 150 from like 20% CBAs. Trade Will Ashcroft. Hoyne's coming out. He's had a career best game.
Next week, another career best game.
What's he got? 30 and 3. Career best game. Couldn't you at least go 120? Why do you have to go 150? Oh my god. It's a disaster.
And you can smoke my pack and
Finn Callahan. That's a tough one, mate.
Oh well, I've got two you can smoke on me. Not getting Bice this week. Having to get him for 200k is another one. Is there any other big ones or just a lot of little ones? I think I had people who like boosted in to get Matty Rao. You'll know that pack all too well from last year.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's not great. It'll still be all right, but the fact that he scores a 70, whatever it was, first up is just like, again.
What I say at halftime, that's the Rao I know.
Yeah.
He looks so good. He looks like M1 or M150.
And then where is he for 2 quarters? Where is he?
He might still be good.
People boosting him in for like, what is he, 630k? And I know he's probably still will kill us and still be a good pick, but a lot captained him. I think he was the most actual straight like captained this week, and he scores a 90. Never feels good when you do that, boosting a premium and they score sub-ton and they cost you over 600k.
Yeah.
Any others you can think of? I think the biggest ones are both of ours. You trading Horn Francis, me not getting Bice. That's probably the two bigger ones.
I think Horn Francis to play like that after trading him out. I think that gets my vote for pick of the week. That was shocking, mate. Shocking.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine sitting through that. I mean, yeah, I'm happy I didn't have to watch Bice, but that's That's crazy. I just don't get it. Why didn't he not look like this for 2 weeks? What was he doing? He was fumbling every ball, like he just dumped his hands in like a bucket of oil before walking out to the ground. And then this week, he's the cleanest I've seen him in like, I don't know, last year since. And he's like this though. It's just like every chance he comes at this week and he's bumping into guys off the ball, fumbling the ball over the boundary line, picking it up, clanging a kick straight to the opposition. It's just like, he's just not consistent enough of that. But like this week was just crazy. He's taking hangers. He was like dominating midfield, go forward for 5 minutes and take a hanger and kick a goal every time. You can't explain it. It'll be his best game of the year, George. So like, that's just how
his CBAs are up though. They've kicked Drew out of the midfield, and now they're like a main 4 rotation.
Well, that hold is it like because of
20% CBA bump. Oh my god!
is it
It's
because of
gonna
like
be painful.
Boak not being in the team, Drew filling that wing role?
Oh, maybe that's true.
Berry went to sub. I don't know.
Surely Drew
You
goes
can't
back
tell with
a little
Port.
bit.
They brought Jones back in to push Burgoyne back to the wing, and he didn't barely found the footy. Like, don't know.
I feel like such a dickhead
How was
doing this every year, man.
how was the Port talk back last night?
They didn't upload it to Spotify, so I didn't get to see it, hear it. It's generally the same stuff. When is Ken going to walk? He's too stubborn to walk. He won't walk.
Yeah.
Koshi has abandoned our traditional values. It's just it's the same shit every week, but it never gets old. It's good.
You love it. All right, back to some super, more relevant stuff.
Yeah, so JHF pack of the week.
Yeah,
Traders.
I think so. Let us know in the comments if you like the segment or not, what you think the pack of the week is. DPP, George, so a couple of big ones. I think, no track is pretty much getting it. Even if he doesn't walk out on the park this week, he just has, if he does, he's got to play 3% or something of the game forward, and he's getting it. So that'll be an interesting one. Oh, not straight away. No way. I have to get a look at him, see if something changes. He's got to get more mid-time than he is. But
very long year.
He's too talented of a player not to be considered in our forward lines for under 500k. I just probably need to see it. Need to see a game of him, at least 50% in the middle. Like, come on. Stop this 60, 70% forward business. I don't get it.
Wait and see, yeah.
So it's a wait and see for now. So, he's so cheap. You can wait and see the turn, see if anything shifts. He's not going to get out of reach for you. So
they're just a mess at the moment.
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Nick Martin's guaranteed as well.
You see Track throw his mouth guard after the game.
Yeah. They're all rightly so. Like those 3 senior players. I mean, Clary has no right really, I guess, after his last 12 months. But Gorney, you feel for Track, like been hit from pillar to post the last 12 months with his injuries and stuff he's had to go through, and he always works. He's working hard behind the scenes. It's just not happening, and already a couple of years ago signed for 7 years or whatever. So I'll be doing their head in. Especially, it's just weird a list with that much talent that they seemingly had and probably still do have to an extent. It's just not clicking and hasn't for a few years now. Nick Martin, yeah, slightly you were interested like pre-season and early, but
God, imagine if I started him.
Yeah, he's averaging like in the mid 80s. He's going to have his good games off half forward, but also a lower floor. So
I think the post buy last year was 1 at 8, and he was more half forward.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's at the right price. We'll look at it. We'll see who's there in the midfield available for us.
Yeah,
see if Warner gets it or not.
Yeah, he's next here. I think he had about 20-something% forward time this week. Well, by the actual metrics, or 30. So he's still close, George, but if he has like another 80% forward midfield game and only 20% forward, it won't be enough, I think. He's very close. He's like teetering, but the last 2 weeks have been more mid-time, and that's pushed it lower and lower. So it's like, but it can easily flip. Not exact. A week ago, I do.
Someone said 36% at the moment.
Yeah, but he just had a game with mid-20s, so it'll be back down to 30 or something.
I don't know. Herald Sun will release something this week. It'll be close. It will depend on.
It'll be close. It basically will just come down to this week's game.
He also had the flu. No, I don't know if it was the flu. He
got subbed off.
Said he was sick the night before the game.
Again, it'll be just straight up down to this week's game. What's the split like? Is it enough forward to tick him over? Chad Warner is not the greatest owner in SuperCoach at times. He's one you obviously look at, and he's someone that can get very cheap because he's prone to some very low scores, but he can obviously go large as well. Low floor, high ceiling type player. But yeah, just another one to think about. And then Took, it's been a lot of midfield the last 2 weeks. He had a bit of forward one of the games, but he's been really good. Really, really good. And mostly midfield. Yeah, he's unbelievable. So he's still playing some forward time. I just don't think it's quite enough at the minute. And again, if he has a big game forward next week, then maybe he gets it. Maybe Flanders gets more mid time or something. But I think it's going to have to be too much to swing it towards DPP. I think it was literally like 10% forward this week or something, not that much. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. There's some rookies like Levi's going to get forward status, Murphy Reed. So great if you have. Obviously, we all have Levi, but Murphy Reed as well. He can, he's going to get that too. Lawler turned up, 110 from Sammy Lawler.
Yeah, I think a few people got rid of him.
I know, and I probably would have too if I had him. And that would have. I'm glad I didn't go near him because that's probably what I would have done too, and it would have killed me. And then Stone, defense DPP. So if you want to keep him, you'll at least be able to swing him somewhere for a trade or something. But and then there's probably a few others. But again, Herald Sun will release something this week, and I'll get Hazard will get posted in the Discord somewhere. So they're the ones that we just sort of know of by seeing the stats. And then there's some rookies this week. So we'll talk about DPP next week in further when they all get announced and locked in. There's a few defenders will get mid, some mids will get defender status, but they're not as relevant. Like all the defenders we want have already got it, and it doesn't really matter if they get midfield status. I open some loops or some coverage stuff, but now that it's best 22 for a bit, it doesn't really matter too much. Anything I missed, George? You want to move on to some trade-ins this week?
I was just thinking it'd be cool if they did if you could have 3 DPPs.
Triple. Yeah, there's a couple of guys. Like Marich would probably get it.
Yeah. Be nice.
Shees would be someone that could get it. I think Flanders too, because Flanders is what? Is he diff mid? Yeah, and he's playing a lot of forward. So yeah, he could be one if it was possible.
I think it'd be cool.
That would be OP, yeah.
I don't see why not though.
Yeah, either. I think you got to start the year as one because it's 35 threshold. You can't go from 1 to 3 in a year. You can only go from 2 to 3 if you've got 2 from last year, and it's a very rare thing. But yeah, cool. Not much left to talk about. Some trading this week. So I think this is should be a pretty calm week for trading. I definitely don't think anyone should be boosting it unless it's a very rare case of injuries or something crazy happens. But I'm guessing everyone's probably used at least 1 by now, possibly 2 like me, maybe 3 like George. So I don't think you should be using one this week. Obviously it's all team dependent, but if you were doing a trade or you wanted to kick away a dead rook and you would maybe just using 1 trade, there's a couple guys to look at. Clay Hall's the first one. George, what do you think of him? He's very low dream team average, good contested player, but a lot of CBAs this week just gone. A lot of midfield time.
I don't know if I should stop looking at DT scores because I do get sucked into that, and that kind of got in my mindset about Horn Francis as well. But his DTs for full-time mid, do you know how low it is at the moment?
Like averaging like 40, average? Yeah,
40 something DT playing full mid, but he's getting like contested handballs and stuff. I don't know. They took Graham out of the CBAs. I think that's the right thing to do. They're giving young Gross in there. Looks all right. They played him round 2, and I think they dropped him. And they played him round 4. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
I don't know what his job security is like. I think they got to persist. I mean, he's negative 80, negative 78 break even. And the 2 matchups he's had are Brisbane and Giants. I think he's probably the best trade in of the week for that price.
Yep. I agree. As the rookies go, he is.
Yo's still a while away, like 4 to 5 or 3 to 4, something like that.
It's not a massive call, though, is it, George? When he's really up against not much.
Maybe
Dudley's 99K.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he's job security either. On the bubble, we're talking anyway. Like Gross, I don't know what happens with him. Anyway, we'll look at that next week. Brock as well, but this week on the bubble, it's Hall versus Dudley for 130 and under. And
Yeah.
you could argue Dudley's got Richmond this week and Melbourne next week. He's a small forward. Yeah, sure.
They got
Good spike.
Swikowski and Walters coming back. I
And then
think
there's the
I don't know
question.
if Walters plays, but Swikowski does. I'm probably just going to avoid that one.
Yeah, personally, I'm not looking either way, but if I had to pick, God, it's really a team sheets thing, like especially with probably with both of them. Yeah, Clay Hall. See who's back and who he gets picked with if he is picked. Because Yo is far enough away to where he can make money in that time. So it's like, if he stays in this week, yeah, sure, go ahead. I think he would be my pick, but yeah, it's not big options this week, so I'm not getting a rookie. I guess we should mention Travalia as well. Looked really good. At just 170, I'm not touching. Like, it's just, I'll probably trade back Sardis in or something at that point, if I'm spending that much on a rookie, or get Langford for whatever he is. But I do like him. Looks good.
I didn't watch. I don't know. I like his draft highlights, like massive interceptor, but I think he's playing wing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Collard's looking really good too. He's just he's just risen in by 45k because he just popped an 80, but
it's like
only 160.
It's like, remember MP400? He had a child.
Yeah.
It's like one's Collard and the other's Max Hall.
Yeah.
81.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even realize he was a rookie. But yeah,
He's
going okay.
So
Would you trade him in 160? Probably not. GWS is sweet.
Nah, I wouldn't. It sucks. But no, I wouldn't. Yeah, not big options this week. So
what about
you
traded Lindsay or Sardis and if they're both back?
Lindsay I want for sure. Yeah, I was never trading him. Yeah. I hope not many people did. If they listen to us for something, hopefully it was that. Yeah. But Sardis, I don't know.
You're not big on him, right now.
I get the opportunity could be there, especially with Caldwell now out, which makes it a bit more annoying that I did trade him. But I don't know, man. 200k rookie that 60% time I don't want to go through it again, but we'll see. I am nervous because he definitely will have the chance now.
I think he needs to get like his 30 to get like a 90. It's hard to do with low tog. I think he can churn out 75 plus, and I think there's a bit of scope for a bit more.
Definitely make money.
Kicking, the tackling, the tog is all massive issues, but if he can just win enough bowl, I'll be fielding him because people have traded him. He's 28% in the top 5%.
Hell yeah!
So for me, I have to field him.
Melbourne,
no choice.
West Coast next week. Yeah, that does make me nervous.
I would be okay getting him back. I think Brad Scott really likes him, and they want to give him an opportunity. It sounds like they want to give him an opportunity, so I think he'll get it.
Yeah.
I think Hobbs, they didn't give him. This is the last time I speak about Hobbs, but they didn't give him any mid-clock. Like, he played more around the ball, but his CBAs were like 19%, which says to me that, if he's not going to get it, like, he's not really a threat even with Caldwell out, you'd think. So I think the role is his. I would get him back if you want to. I have no problem.
Bit of a short one, George. We've only gone for 45 minutes. Before we talk about captains, maybe we could talk for another 5-10 on some topics. Maybe if anything comes to your head, I'm thinking maybe.
All right, Kieran Briggs.
Yes, that's actually a big option. One. Yep.
I can't believe I went Sherry. This is what killed me. I got to stop whinging, but I think going Sherry instead of going Sherry, that should have been split into Briggs and Will Ashcroft. Would have fixed everything. But here we are. He's got a nice run too, so I think he's a good option. He did 108. I think it was 108 post buy. I want to say last year. Obviously,
470, and if you don't have Sherry, right, you can just let him sit there until
flex.
Yeah, that is another interesting option.
There's not really. I mean, which rucks do you want?
The only thing with doing this and having the 4 rucks, it just limits you to flexibility with your midfield forward. If you want to sit someone there for like, you just can't.
Yep.
So I don't know if I want it. That's something I think I'll lock myself. Like I'll do that third ruck possibly post buy sort of thing than now. But that's an R2 definite if you're one of the Flynn people, and
you definitely go there.
It was stupidly George how dumb this game is. Probably the play to just sit him there or sit dead R2 for 3 weeks.
I guess that was part of the reason why people went in case something went wrong. You knew you had an out.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So, I think the Flynn R2 is, you go to Briggs. Or do you wait? Would you rather Briggs now for 470? Or would you rather... Sherry's got a horrific matchup in Wits this week. Bit proppy as well. 180 break even. Say he gets to like 570. Would you rather Briggs for 470 or Sherry for 570?
It is a bit annoying. Yeah, I do get the Briggs thing. If you go Briggs for 3 weeks and then you have to get him to Cherry, it's right in the middle of
you do it post-buy. Sherry's got the early buy to flip. I would grab Briggs and flip. Save 100K.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't need a trade. Assuming Briggs... I mean, you probably end up keeping him, but who knows?
Actually, yeah, you're right. You would lock yourself into that for a while, hey? Because you just can't do a swap like that in the middle of upgrade season. Yeah.
Yeah, some value picks. Or do you think it's okay to go for someone for 600K right now, or is it too much?
I don't think we should be doing that.
Yeah.
Even me trading in like a Sarong this week for 590 is just a bit.
Yeah. Would you go Will Day for, I think he's 500? Got a nice run.
I do see the run and no tags. That's the next topic I was gonna bring up. But yeah, he's very cheap.
It's got Port, Geelong, West Coast, Richmond, Melbourne. Next 5, not bad.
Yeah, it is very good. It's an option. It's definitely an option.
Thought about it.
Yeah. Maybe nearly like an early upgrade. Maybe say Noddy's out for multiple weeks. You could kill a dead rook and Noddy into, if you had some probably don't need a small amount of cash in the bank to do that. It's another rookie off field quicker. Definitely something to think about.
It's interesting because we still got to find a balance between looking after the team post buy and getting rooks off. So do you play for like, I don't know, late game more, or are you just trying to get points, trying to have that nice play, get rookies off, and then flip them in the buys and get perfect team that way? I think that's how you play the game. But I'm down.
We get a rookie off every week, with the flex. Like we are fielding one less as it is already. So do you go for more points? Bigger points players.
It's a good topic to discuss, and this is why I've held Sardis and Lindsay, because Sardis playing full mid, Lindsay's playing halfback. That's if he stays there.
You might be copping like your worst score as a 70.
They can give me 80s.
You could be, and there could be a 70 dropping off every week, and you're 80 plus everywhere else. Whereas people might be copping a 50 from a defender rook, 60 from a, couple of them. I get that point for sure.
At the end of the day, though, they are rookies.
But you know what has really killed?
Get the hell out of the team. So
what's sort of really killed me this last few weeks, best 18, is just not having any of those monster guys. No Sinclair with 140, 160, no Whitfield with 150. Like Horn Francis is the first like big score like that I've got in like 3 weeks. Yeah, and everyone's got him, or a few people trade him out.
I dare say.
So you know what I mean? Like that's the other thing.
We missed.
Dunks is just scoring 110.
So many big scores. Yeah,
he's just hasn't gone monster since round 1. So yeah, it is an interesting topic. First year of the flex, we'll see how it plays out, I guess. But yeah, I kind of want to go. Like if I do these trades, I'm doing whatever this week with Short and Callahan. Now I'll have 2 primo mids. I don't see many teams with bloody 2 primo mids. Barely even have one. Most of them, they've all got big dog defenders that I don't have many of, and full forward line. Like I don't know, maybe that'd be beneficial. I never like looking at teams without premium mids, but the game's changed in the last 5 years, George.
Yeah, it's taken us a while to figure out how good the defenders were, rookies. Now that Bice is in, O'Sullivan's gone well. I think Bice is the one you just stick him on the field. You can probably hope for a 65 from an Essendon player. Whereas all the mids got injured, wanted to get them all on the field, and they're all dead. So
it's crazy. Hey, big dog premium mids injured, and then now all the rookies are dying, going down like flies. Whereas the defender big dog premiums are all cooking, and now all the rookies are cooking. Like, it's just total flip of what we would have thought would be happening. Obviously,
next week you might not know. Yeah. Like, Trainer could go shit, Reid could go shit, and then Sardis, Lindsay, Nod back, maybe Nevitt's back. I still got Nevitt as well. I've got all of them. I've kept the whole.
You got all of them. Far out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how
have Nevitt anymore.
Kept them all. But they're capable rookies. I'm just playing the long game a bit. But I think it's hard to do an upgrade this week. I wouldn't stress about doing an upgrade this week. It's just too many rooks haven't made money, or they've made more money. But I think next week that's when we get going. Last week for fixed subs, get rid of the plays you don't want to hold to the buys.
Yep. I guess last thing I wanted to talk about is Josh made us a little tag thing because it is a big topic. They're bloody back in fashion. As annoying as it is, and I'll just try to put it on the screen. And he's right. Two of them, he's a big D's fan. Two of them are just the old failed D's players. And look, they're the two best at it, Jordan and Bedford. And these are the teams in the next sort of month or so that have them. And as we said, as George said before, Hawthorn, Will Day, nothing coming up. Great run, no tags. Melbourne the same. We've already got clarity, I guess, track. If he ever looks like getting a bit more mid-time, becoming an option. North, so it's good for Shees, I guess. He didn't cop the Jordan tag on the weekend, and there's nothing coming up on the horizon. And then, unfortunately, Richmond, that doesn't matter. But yeah, every other team, it's just so many taggers these days. And even there's a Sparrow there that tagged Holmes on the weekend. Bloody pissed me off. And there's other ones that do it here and there, like Finn McGuinness, that will just get deployed whenever Sammy Mitchell feels like it. So,
yeah.
What do you think, George? Like,
then Discord somewhere. For those listening to audio can't see, we've got a graphic of upcoming tags for every club.
Yeah.
Thanks to Josh for doing that.
So yeah, like I'm looking at it big time as a Sarong. I mean, at the end of the day, George, your midfielders are gonna cop it at some point. I don't think you can worry about it too much. Obviously, in the immediate future, you wouldn't trade someone with coming in with one coming up straight away. Like, you try to avoid that, but they're going to get it at some stage. Like, trading into a Fremantle boy this week, they got two great fixtures coming up, but Windy round 8, Bedford round 10. I really want to get it. I've got Sarong in right now, but he's probably going to be the one that cops those.
You'd want him to kill Richmond, Melbourne next too.
Yeah. It also comes down to the midfielder themselves. Some get through it. Some get through it better. Yeah, Sarong gets through them pretty well. I'd say he's probably up there out of all the midfielders that he'll work hard through it. Like, he won't. I feel like he doesn't want to end a day with 15 touches. It feels like he just hate himself. Like, he wants to make sure he gets 25, no matter how hard it is. Whereas others might just, it's too hard to work through. Such a hard tag. Like, the hard tag is a bit like Bedford's crazy. He's hard. Jordan, when told to properly tag, like, he's winning a bit of his own ball this year more, but when he's told to hard tag, he hard tags. Windy, he's bloody trying hard as well. I can see he's rolling the team now. Like, I'm sure he doesn't want to be doing it, but if it gets, locks him in the 22 every week, he's doing it. So yeah, everyone's going to cop it. Like, even Noah Anderson, I was looking at, great 2 fixtures coming up, of course, but Jordan in round 7, and kind of seems more likely he gets it than,
So it's more trying to time these primos after.
Yeah, don't trade in the one that's got it than very obviously the straight week up or the one after, but they're going to come in a month or 5-6 weeks. You've got to accept that. You got to accept
at the right price, I'd still go for it, even if I got a tag in like a month's time.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think that's where I see it. Don't just look and go, oh my God, he's got 1 or 2 tags. before the bye when we're 8 weeks out from the bye and don't pick someone for that reason. Like, they will cop one or two or three this year. It's going to happen. Yeah. So he's another big target. Like, I think everyone that's remotely switched on in SuperCoach knows that he's got that tag coming up, and then
get him in
for around Anzac Day. But is there any concern with his foot? Like, it looked like it was hurting him a bit, but he pushed through it.
I think he'll play through it. I don't even know if it's still bothering him, but I think he was getting looked at the last time he played. Or this week.
It'd be just really so hard. How does anyone pass up Nick Dacos for like 540k? It's like
probably more looking at 580 at the moment with 130 break even. Say he drops 90.
Depends whatever he scores against Jordan, I guess. But yeah, either way, whatever it is ends up being, it'll be damn cheap for Nick Dacos. So yeah, something to think about. Look, we all know it's happening this year, but it's just in vogue. Sparrow comes out of the blue and doesn't even look towards the bloody yellow thing that says Sharon on it for 2 hours and just hugs Max Holmes. Like,
yeah,
it's annoying, but it will happen.
Or something.
Yeah, 5 touches or something stupid.
Who are we captaining this week? I've got Andy Brayshaw, TDK into Andy.
Suffering from success, George. You know that DJ Khaled meme?
Yeah.
Archer Reed's playing every week, man, and making 120k. So I don't have a loophole.
There's no way.
Look, Stone might get dropped. Berry was just sub, could get fully dropped. Noddy might be injured and out. So they're the 3 main ones for me that could be red dots this week. And if they are, then I'll probably do Dunks into Sarong if he's the mid I trade in. Just the 2 big mids, back him in. Dunks, I think,
TDK
playing the Dogs.
On BJ Williams.
Yeah. BJ playing all right.
Yeah.
BJ playing all right. Briggs actually had a bit of a rough go at it early. Like, obviously, he's going to ton up playing ruck for a team that won by 100 points eventually, but BJ was actually matching him in there for the first half. Like, he's not getting totally beat up like he did 2-3 years ago when I had him for 200k solo ruck and he scored 30 points every week. He's a bit better now. But yeah, it's still a pretty good matchup. I don't know. I hate VC and TDK every week. Like, I didn't do it 2 weeks ago. He scored 120 or whatever, and then this week I do it, cave to it, and he scores 100. I think he's gassing out from it in second halves. Like, spends a lot of time on the bench. He's not fully accustomed to the solo ruck yet as far as his tank goes. Like, he's unbelievable when he's in there, obviously, but
it's only 570k. I thought it'd be way more than that.
I don't know. I don't want to stuff it.
I feel good about Andy against Richmond at big ground at Barossa.
Yeah. Dunks at Norwood Oval against the Dogs, into Sarong against bloody Richmond or Andy or whoever I get. Sounds good.
I hate captaining on 5-day breaks. So I'm not touching Baz or Dawson or Rankin.
This is Dawson's time, man. The Thursday night gather round game.
King Crom.
He cooks.
Yep.
All right. Good chat. See how we go. Do you know what your trades are this early, George? Or
I don't know. Right now, I have short to Sandy Brock. And Sarong in for Elijah Hewitt.
That's so random.
He scored 80 and they dropped Harry Edwards. You should definitely wait on Sandy Brock.
Good 80 because Jesse Hogan got targeted fucking 35 times inside 50. He looked okay, but he got monstered like 10 times. Like,
kick 9.
I don't know how okay
Not all
he
of
can
them
look.
on Sandy Brock, but
yeah,
that won't be my trade. So this is pretty much every week. I'm like, here's my trades. We'll just roll with it. Oh shit! Saturday afternoon, I traded out of 150 again. Maybe I should think about my trades. But this week, it's like it's the last week. If I really want to piss off Rosie and Short, this is the last week. Short, I'm happy to let go because I think I can get someone that's going to put 30 points minimum on his head every week. Rosie, I feel like I've made this bed and lay.
You probably still have a chance to do a sideways next week if there's some cash in the bank, but it's like just wasting another trade.
I wanna
We'll probably be sitting on trades next week, I think, too. Just letting these rookies milk a bit more because,
yeah.
like, maybe make
I'd
a
like
rookie swap,
see what happens
Cleary
with
or something.
Cleary.
But yeah, I don't think we'll be upgrading just yet unless you're carrying cash or something. But man, I'll be holding Rosie one more, George, and I'll have about 100K sitting in the bank, and you'd have to handcuff me next week not to turf him if he drops another 70. You'd have to change my password, I think. Like, how could I not trade him to Dawson next week or
Here's the
something?
problem.
Like,
Trading out value picks is
it's just
so
wasting your money.
painful
Yeah, I
because you're
know.
using your money on a slot where
Yeah.
you thought these guys would go close to the top guys.
Yeah, I know, but
That
I'm
money
just
needs
losing
to
my
get
patience with
into-
age. Is it because we're old? I'm just losing my patience with these
Yeah.
shit cunts. Sorry, it's an hour into the podcast, but fuck me,
Yeah.
I just hate these pricks, man. We just wouldn't be trading. We wouldn't even thought of trading like a Horn Francis or a whatever. Like
Nah, he had no
5 years
choice.
ago, you wouldn't even. You couldn't. You couldn't. You picked him. You eat it. Like until he got injured. But now it's like it's just too easy to. It's the thought, the temptation of just like, fuck it, bro. I've still got 30 trades left, George. That's what we started years with. Like,
Yeah, and we were fine. Like I pushed the envelope, no drought, even with 30 trades, and we found a way. We got there.
so it's very hard to restrain yourself.
I hate looking at Rosie, man.
Where's Will? He's
to
not
back
there.
him in, bro. I have to back him in. Are you going to back him in? No, you're going to trade him if he goes shit. It's 160 break even. I did
What's
it
he
with Raul
going to be,
last year. I
George?
held and I held and I
Sub
held.
500 next week with like another 150 break even if he scores 60, 70.
The role is better than last year at the moment. He has to bounce back. He has to.
Yeah, I believe he will. I believe he will too.
He better. Anyway, anything else from you?
Let's get the hell off. No, let's get off. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.